If you are experiencing tinnitus, ringing in the ears, or a sensation of water, also known as ear noise, today I am going to teach you some very practical exercises that have been scientifically proven to be effective for this. Even an otolaryngologist, a specialist in ears, tells us why these exercises work. Let's begin. First of all, let's stretch the neck a little. Look, first of all, you're going to make a small, gentle circle. You will feel, my dear anxious friend, that your neck starts to make noise. To crack, as my grandmother used to say. To the other side, please. It's normal for it to make that sound because you are releasing the pressure. In the meantime, I'll explain to you that when we have tinnitus caused by anxiety, it's because this whole area here has become very tense, especially a muscle that I'll mention to you shortly. Well, now let's say yes. Look. Well, a rather long yes, backward, forward. Here, in the interest of brevity and being concise in the explanation, I'm going to make them a bit short. But you try to make each of these exercises last about 30 seconds. Well, now let's say no. Look, no. Your neck will make a sound as well. Why? Because those of us who are anxious hold tension here. And that apparently even inflames the middle ear. Dr. Orozco, who is an otolaryngologist specializing in throat and ears, will explain it to you. Well, now let's proceed. Watch out, look at this one here. Take your hand, right or left, whichever you prefer, and pull. Look. Let this hand add weight. Pull. You will feel how this muscle here in this specific area of your body stretches and extends. Pull, pull! Here I'm going to make it a bit short for the sake of brevity in the explanation, but you should do it a bit longer. As I mentioned, 30 seconds. And try to do each stretch about 3 times. Let's go to the other side and take a moment to fully appreciate the surroundings. Extend it for about 30 seconds. Repeat the process 3 times for each side, on both sides. You should take roughly between 5 and 10 minutes doing these exercises. 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, and evening. All right, now let's move forward as you do. Please try to maintain your position and hold it steady for a full 10 seconds. After that, transition smoothly into moving backward. Pay attention to your form, look ahead, and make sure to grab your hands firmly. Then, continue to go backward, ensuring that your movements are controlled and deliberate. 10 seconds. Now just take a look, also backwards. Try to make it 10 seconds, please. Sorry, 30 seconds. Here I make it shorter to explain to you, to make the video more agile. Ready? Repeat 3 times on each side, 30 seconds. After that, start massaging your head. Now you might say, why the head? If what I have is ringing in the ear, it happens that everything is connected in our body. Look here, as if you were applying shampoo in the morning, the shampoo. Well, here I don't do it very deeply because it messes up my hair. But you do it deeply, slowly, gently, and deeply on your scalp. Good. You know, on your scalp. Also 30 seconds for that. Now let's move down here to the temples. Look, on the temples, you do a rounded massage with these 3 fingers. Rounded, you do it like this. To one side, to the other. You can take a minute here. Here we are showing you with engineer Kevin Santa Cruz, the video editor, how when someone is asked to move their foot and an acupuncture needle is placed in their neck, they are told, move your foot. The acupuncture needle moves here in the neck, imagine that. You're moving a foot and the needle moves here in the neck. This shows us that everything is interconnected and it connects through a white layer similar to what you see in tangerines, in oranges, which is called the fascia. That's why tinnitus happens. I'll explain it to you in a little bit. Now look, lower these little hands. Look, you make this rake. Let's say it like that. You go down from the temple softly and deeply to the chin. Softly and deeply to the chin. Great. Slowly. You do it slowly. Look, I've seen patients who do it like this. No, very slowly feeling it. You can also do this for about 1 minute. Now look, let's loosen the chin here. Look, you do it like this. Loosen it, give it a little massage. Also take 30 seconds. I do it more slowly for the sake of demonstration and to make the video more dynamic. Now here's the important part. Look, open your mouth. You'll find here that there's a muscle, a little bump, okay? Which is where the temporomandibular joint is. That is where the jaw connects with the skull. There's a muscle there. It's that muscle which apparently becomes inflamed and can also cause inflammation in the inner ear. Here is Dr. Sebastián Orozco, who will explain why these exercises work. Doctor, welcome. Why do they work?
These exercises, these muscles, especially the chewing muscles, which include, well, the masseter, the temporal muscle, and the sternocleidomastoid, along with two other internal muscles called the medial and lateral pterygoids. All these muscles in general, to avoid confusing you with these names, help us to open and close the jaw and assist with chewing. The thing is that the jaw joint is here, right where I have my finger. And this joint is in front of our ear and has a direct relationship. They are like neighbors. I explain this a lot to my patients. When my neighbor is hammering or drilling at midnight, well, I don't sleep well. The same goes for when they have music playing at a high volume. I'm not in my neighbor's room, but it affects me. And something similar happens with the joint and the ear. Many problems with the ear joint and the jaw joint, cause symptoms in the ear. So, for example, the patient reports ear pain, but the ear is actually healthy, and the problem is in the joint. The patient reports, for example, an increase in tinnitus when they also have joint problems or even issues like dizziness, vertigo, instability, which are also related to the joint. So, many patients, especially from an anxious perspective, have many muscular problems, as the doctor mentioned. By generating that emotional tension, physical tension is also created. And this physical tension translates into an overload on some joints. These patients are very common. Pain in the neck, pain in the back, and in certain joints of our body. So by relaxing these muscles, as the doctor just demonstrated, we can benefit from a reduction in tinnitus because we are helping our ear neighbor to be better, and that helps us to have better ear health as well.
Well, thank you, doctor. So now you know why they work. Especially this temporomandibular joint is very inflamed. So here you will take your time. Hopefully, if you have a little oil or Vaseline, you will do a round, gentle and deep massage. One way, then the other. Here, if you want, spend about 2 minutes massaging yourself. Well, there are some of my patients who have bruxism. Look, they do this at night and can even end up fracturing their teeth. So, look, if I ask you to make this fist for 5 minutes, you will tell me, oh, but it hurts. The same thing happens with these muscles here in the temporomandibular joint. As we are, look, so tense from stress, we are doing this, and some of my patients do this. Obviously, it starts to inflame, just as Dr. Sebastián Orozco explained to you, up to the middle ear. Remember here again how well it makes us feel, if in the image. If we ask someone to move their foot, if we put an acupuncture needle in the neck, it moves. I mean, everything is interconnected, my dear anxious friend. Therefore, what we are doing here is loosening our neck, our throat, even our structures surrounding the ear, comes the fasces I mentioned to reduce tinnitus and inflammation. Very well. So let's apply those exercises. As I told you, you are going to do them a bit longer. Look, we are also going to stick out the chin a bit, look like this. About 20 seconds more or less. Stick out your chin as well. Some of us experience so much stress that our throat closes up and we can't swallow food. This is called phagophobia. Let's stick out the tongue as well. Repeat it 3 times at home. Let me think. About 20-30 seconds, 3 times. Rest between each exercise. Besides that, you're going to massage here. Look, the neck, the sternocleidomastoid, which is this large muscle here in the neck. Relax it, give yourself a little massage, preferably with a little oil. That takes you 30 seconds. Repeat it 3 times. Now, the throat, look, we loosen it. You might say, well, the throat. If what bothers me is the ear, I already told you it's connected and everything is very close. Look, from the throat to the ear, there's nothing. And all of that apparently is inflamed, just as our good friend Dr. Sebastián Orozco, an otolaryngologist, has explained to us. Well, now we finally get to the ears. Look, you're going to give your little ears a very nice massage. Look, like this. Start with a little massage. The ears have an ending. They have numerous nerve endings. And that makes it pleasant. That's why when someone kisses our ear, he bites it, we feel a certain tickling. Here, look, the lobe, this lower part of the little ear too. Look, oh, like this. Let's go to the other side as well. Well, you can do it on both sides, giving yourself the little massage. I'm doing it a bit quickly here due to time constraints. You do it slowly, gently. Very good. Now, look, take your whole hand like this and start moving your little ear. Both, obviously. You take both and move them a little here. Come help a little massage. Look, here at the back, in the back part with your little hands, give yourself a little massage here behind the ear. On both, of course. Also let it last about 30 seconds. Gentle and deep. Slowly. Don't rush. Now let's go. After that, after you do it at home, the 3 repetitions. You do it here on the lower part of the ear, on both. You might feel a certain sensation of pleasure there. Acupuncturists say that sensations of calm or even pleasure are released there, right? No? So you do it like this, a little massage on the ear. Very good. Now look, here in front of this, I don't know what it's technically called, this little flap here on your ear. Here you place these 3 fingers. Also look, slowly, deep. You take about 30 seconds to a minute on these exercises. Careful, slowly, deep. Also, at the end, look, after repeating, you pull your little ear. Your ear won't grow, as I said in another video I have from 2 years ago. Don't worry, anxious friend, your ear won't grow. So, you pull it and it's nice, cool, on the other side too, slowly. Many of these videos, many of these exercises we have taken from the channel of Dr. Inigo Junqueiro, a great professional physiotherapist, right? Look at him. And he is helping us anxious people here. Now, well, with the experience I've had with my patients, what I've realized is the very positive, very strong impact these exercises have on the benefit of anxious people. If you practice these exercises 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night, taking about 5 to 10 minutes you will see that the ringing, that buzzing calms down, just like the sensation of water, also called tinnitus. Please practice them and let me know how it goes for you. Now, let's answer questions. Questions from the subscribers. You have to be a subscriber for me to answer these questions. Liv, Sergio Elizondo, thank you very much for reaching out, Sergio. I'm from Argentina. Greetings, Argentina. I hope to be there someday. How do I get in touch with you? Look here in this video and in the others, also in the descriptions of the audios in the podcast, there is a link. That link takes you directly to WhatsApp, and from there our team will advise you on the best solution for you. For some, it's the Overcome Anxiety course. For others, it's group psychotherapy, and for others, individual psychotherapy. Each case is different. There is an appropriate solution for your case, for your budget. Don't worry. Mo, we've thought of everyone, and our team will help you. Mo, the WhatsApp, well, I'll clarify it here as well. 311-760-6107. And you prefix it with +57, +57, and the number also, well, appears here on the screen. And we will gladly guide you to start your journey, to free yourself from anxiety, my dear Sergio. We have an appropriate solution for each case, for each budget as well. We've thought of everyone, I repeat. Juana Hoyos tells me, Dr. Arturo, when I take lemon balm, I get a severe headache and feel body fatigue. That's what she tells us in the plan, in the video about the plant, that will help you overcome anxiety with Dr. Javier Rincon. My dear Juana, just as the doctor says there in the video, this is not my invention. He tells you that it's good to do novenas, right? Novenas, no, meaning change the plant. For example, 9 days of lemon balm, others of passion flower, others of valerian. Now, he's also very clear in saying that people who have hypotension, it might lower their blood pressure a bit more. Now, there's also another variable, right? That you need to see a doctor. What if that headache is from something else? Now, feeling a bit drowsy is what we want precisely, because you are so hyper that we want to relax you. But then remember to keep changing it and always consult with a doctor. What if these symptoms are from something else, please? And remember what the doctor says, you have to keep changing the medicines, even if they are natural, in this case lemon balm. Well, very good. In the video about curing insomnia naturally without medicines, Victor Mosombiter, Rengifo tells us, I would like to know if a 5-year-old child can be given melatonin and how many milligrams. That's 3, 5, if it can be harmful. Thank you very much from Peru. You see, Victor, technically, a psychologist is not going to give you that answer. What you're asking me is very medical. You would need to ask the child's pediatrician. Generally, melatonin is well accepted by 99% of humanity, as we require melatonin to fall asleep. And we get it from the sun, vitamin D, the skin, in the morning, you see. The strange thing. So almost everyone tolerates it well. But how many milligrams? An answer as exact as you are asking for. And whether or not it is suitable for your child depends on each case. The vast majority of us tolerate it quite well, but for something so specific, yes, the child's pediatrician will clear that up for you. Now, it seems that you are telling me it's for a child who doesn't sleep, right? There we would have to see what is stressing that child. If they have any other medical condition, it could be respiratory. There are many medical variables that we must rule out before that answer. Thank you, my dear Victor.